A new bill, SB 145. It's getting a lot of negative attention from people on both sides of the aisle. SB 145 would lower penalties for adults convicted of sex crimes with minors. And joining us to talk a little bit more about this bill is California State Senator Shannon Grove. Senator, thank you for talking to us tonight.
Oh, absolutely, Ginger. Thank you very much for the invitation to discuss this important issue.
You know, this is a framework of stories that I cover heavily, passionately here in San Diego, and I've been flooded with folks just not happy at all about this bill. This bill was created by Senator Scott Wiener in San Francisco. Can you explain to us or give us an example of how it would work?
So, we're going to have a frank conversation about this bill because this bill does affect our children. SB 145 would remove the requirement for offenders to register as sex offenders if they were committing certain sex crimes with minors and there was a 10-year age gap. So like from 14 to 23, 15 to 24, as long as the perpetrator is within a 10-year age gap of the victim. The crimes that are excluded that make this bill even more detrimental are non-forcible oral copulation, non-forcible sodomy, and non-forcible sexual penetration by a foreign object. So let's just talk about that for a second. A 14-year-old being, brought into a situation where she or he endures this type of act, and then the perpetrator says, well, it was voluntary or they wanted to. This is something that parents need to stand up everywhere. They need to call the governor and they need to say, veto this bill.
Yeah, because right there, a 14-year-old cannot give consent. They are below the age. So how can they say it's voluntary?
Under this bill, the 14-year-old will be able to give consent to those types of sex acts. And if they did, or if they were coerced into it, we just need to protect our children so that individuals that are 24 years old, 23 adults cannot have sex with minors. And the author is saying that he wants to bring parity for the LGBTQ community. Well, the way we bring parity is we change the law so that our children are protected, not add to them to being able to perpetrate these crimes against our children.
You know, this bill has bipartisan opposition, but somehow it has passed through both houses and now it's actually headed to the governor's desk. So is this a done deal?
So it's not a done deal. If parents watching this show, and I thank you very much for putting it on, will call 916-445-2841. That's 916-445-2841 and tell the governor not to sign this bill. We need to protect our children. And this bill does not protect our children, and it actually exposes them to more crimes than if this bill didn't pass. And we need to make sure that our children are protected. So again, call 916-445-2841 and tell the governor to veto this bill.
Talk to me a little bit about the opposition, because again, it was brought forward by a Democrat, but I'm reading bipartisan support against it. So how did it get through both the House and the Senate?
Well, it had enough votes on the Senate side. I believe it had 26 votes or 28 votes. I don't have the vote count. I do apologize. But the Senate passed it and it went to the Assembly and the Assembly passed it. Not one Republican voted for this bill. Not one Republican voted for this bill, either in the Senate or in the Assembly, because we want to make sure that parents have the right to protect their children, and the law does not allow perpetrators to come after 14-year-old children. This bill does provide a provision, which I should cover, that the judge has discretion to make that decision to where if it was a true perpetrator, or was it consensual. But we still need to protect this. That doesn't satisfy my issues on this bill, and it shouldn't satisfy parents. We need to make sure that our children are protected, and a 14-year-old should not have to be dealing with this subject matter.
Yeah, as a parent, it's shocking to see that a 14-year-old can be qualified to give consent. Well, you know what? We also cover AB 5 quite a bit here at KUSI. I would love to get your input on the Senate Republicans' efforts to amend AB 2257, which is aiming to correct all the sloppiness of AB 5. Tell me about that.
So we did the last night of session when AB 2257 did come up. Republicans put forth 9 sets of amendments. My amendments repealed AB 5 altogether. Republicans believe that independent contractors, and we believe in worker freedom. So if you want to be an independent contractor, then you want worker freedom and you want to set your own hours, then do that. We believe you should be able to do that. The Democrats, on the other hand, want to put you in a situation where you're easily organized for the union purposes. And Republicans stand to fight with you against this bill. It's a horrible bill. And that's evident with all the stuff that had to be cleaned up in this bill with this year. And I promise you there will be more cleanup next year because people are voicing their opposition on this bill. They want worker freedom. Musicians, tattoo artists, referees, franchisees, salon owners. Everybody wants to be able to have worker freedom. If you want a job where you are required to work certain hours, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and you want that type of job, apply and work for that type of company. But you should be able to be an entrepreneur, a franchisee owner. You think about that one just for a second. You're a McDonald's owner. You own 6 McDonald's. They're your businesses, and you yourself are an employee of the McDonald's Corporation, and you have to be paid, and hours have to be set by the McDonald's Corporation. It's just insane. Uber Lyft drivers. I have a single father. I looked at his Facebook post in my district when his kids went to see the mother of the children. He made $300 one night. When you look at $300 a week on one night, that's a substantial increase in your income on a monthly basis. And people should have the right to work how they want to work. And Republicans support worker freedom.
Yeah, freedom, that is the key phrase there. So one more time for anybody that missed the very beginning, we were discussing SB 145. If you want to find out more, we're going to have a link on our website, including the number that you call if you do not agree with the provisions of SB 145. Senator Grove, I really appreciate your time tonight and for all the work you're doing up in Sacramento.
Thank you, Ginger, for the opportunity.
All right, be well.